There are some defaults for Canvas. So by default, the canvas starts out at 300 by 150 pix high. So this is contained within an attribute of that element. So you can set it within the attribute using width and then specify the width. And notice as well that you don't need to include pix. So if you want to, by default, change it width 200 and height 200, you can see that that will change the dimensions of Canvas. As well, you can set it as attributes within the element. So, and of course, this is JavaScript. So we might want to do it this way, focusing on the element and then making the adjustment using JavaScript. So we can get rid of the attribute properties and set it. And there's also an option here to set it within style. So if you do canvas, and as we saw, we've got a height option. So if we do something like 100, I'll show you what happens here, and it's gonna adjust it to 100, so you don't have to specify the pix. And if you do specify the pix, it's not going to work properly because it's not expecting the pix within the dimensions. As notice that there's no style here in front of it. So if we did have style, then we would be updating the element style properties, and in this case, it's still an attribute. So let's set it to 100 by 100, and you can see that we get a nice round square. So there's also an option where we can do canvas and update its style. This is CSS, and if we want to set it to 300 pix, we could do that as well. And you're going to see what happened here is that it actually went width of 300 pix, so it went 3 times the size, but the canvas width is still 100. So whatever you do, it's going to be 3 times as wide. So there are some things that you do need to keep in mind. Sizing, it doesn't respect the ratio of the initial canvas. So this is the ratio of the initial canvas. So you will get distortion. And usually the best way to go is to set the dimensions by height and width, and then using the style. So now if you set height to 50, you're going to see what happens here is that now the dimensions are 100% and it's still 100 by 50. So the height is half as high as the width. So keep that in mind, that there are aspect ratios to Canvas. Usually the best way to go is just to simply set it using the height and width. And Canvas is supported for most modern browsers. Cases where you might have an instance where somebody might be coming in with Internet Explorer or older versions of browsers that don't have the support for it. And in that case, you can provide a condition that checks to see if getContext is available. If it comes back true, then you can set the canvas. Otherwise, you can have something else for non-supporting. So this would be non-supported. So you can render out some additional code there when it's not available. And if you want to see what getContext renders out, so if you type in getContext, you're going to see that you're getting something being returned back there, that there's a method sitting within it. So that means that it's supported by the browser. And for the purposes of the upcoming lessons, because I don't have a lot of real estate to work with, I'm going to change it to 300 by 200 so that it fits nice and neatly on the screen. So go ahead, try all of this out. And coming up, we're going to be writing more to the canvas, some more visible part.